Hello, hello. I'm Chris. This is Gross Models. Welcome to 30 Days Lost in Space, Day 6. Today we are playing with some new components. We have a light sensing resistor. We're going to see what's happening with that. Apparently in the story, we're using that in place of a solar panel to find out why the ship is not being powered properly. So I've got the components for that. We've got a little resistor, as like the pull down resistor, just to tidy up any loose electrons. 3 wires are all we need, as well as the breadboard and obviously our hero board. I've got the hero board not plugged in yet, but it is going to be plugged in a slightly different position now. I've rearranged things a little bit, so it can be wired up like that rather than going off into the distance. So let's have a look at the site, and we'll look at the story so far, as it were, and see what Astrid has to say about what we're going to be doing. So let's play the video.
Good morning, Explorer. Or is it evening? Who knows under this ocean blanket? Now, let's wipe that taxed look off your face. Oh, well, that is your face. Oops. Get ready to tackle our next big task. We can't ignore this any longer. Our battery levels are going critical. Our hero experiments and shipboard lighting barely draw anything. But what's killing us is just keeping things warm.
Okay, I'm not going to watch the entire video with you again. I've watched it myself, and it's got lots of lovely things to talk about, but, you know, you can watch the videos yourself if you take part in the course. Here we go. This is the circuit that I need to make up. So we've got ground. We're using an analog pin because we're dealing with analog levels. It's a little bit different to what we were having before. So let me wire that up on here. So we've got our black coming from the ground, because that's the way things work. Ground there. We're taking that. We're not going to bother with the rails. We're going to take that into that pin there on that rail, which is going to go one side of our resistor. The other side of the resistor is going to a different plug over there. I'm going to make that go all the way over there to set it at a slight angle just to make it easier for me. And then from that one, actually not the last one, because I'm going to use a cable out of that. We're going to use the blue cable out of that. And that's going to go to our A0, which is down there. I shall tell you about analogs and things in a minute. Let me just get the other side of that connected to the photoresistor. And the positive of that is going to 5 volts, which is over here, about there. So we're putting 5 volts in and then measuring what we get out of the other side, as well as pulling everything else down to the ground. So we're measuring what we're going to get from this photoresistor. Analog, I was going to tell you about that. Normally we've been using these digital pins over here, which give an on or an off. Nice and easy, straightforward, very little chance of it being wrong. On the other side, we've got these analog pins over here, which I believe are all pretty much the same, but just different. Same as these are all the same, but, you know. An analog reading gives, as you might guess, an analog figure rather than a digital figure. So it's not just on or off. It's any number of an infinite scale. I say infinite, it's probably like 0 to 255 is generally the way these things work. So that is what we will have. So we're going to read that number and we'll probably display it. I think we're going to put it on the serial monitor. So let me have a look at the code, bring that up in another window, and we'll see exactly what it is that we've written, see if I understand any of it. Okay, here we go with the code set up. Day 6, time to fix the battery. We need to find an additional source of power as our battery will not last long without some recharging. We do have solar panels. Let's work on how the hero can monitor the power coming from those panels. So we're using a photoresistor to simulate the variable power. Lots of notes and things. Concepts introduced and documented in this lesson. Unsigned integers. 16-bit value containing numbers from 0 to 65535. Okay. The serial monitor, we're using that again. Serial begin, serial print, and serial print line. Is it all good? Analog read is the same as digital read, but analog. We're using the analog pins and a photoresistor. Good. So we start by including the line of the code helps them work properly for Arduino. Include Arduino H. Yep, that's what we're going to do. And then we set our set a constant byte as photoresistor pin is on A0. So we're setting photoresistor pin to A0. That makes sense to me. I understand that. Setting up two other constants, minimum and maximum delay times for the blinking LED. So the minimum delay is going to be 50 and the maximum delay is going to be 500. Again, we're just setting things up. Yeah, okay. And then we're doing the setup. So that was the initial setup, as we always do. And then we're doing the actual setting up the integers and things before we do anything. Then the void setup. We're setting the pin mode LED built in as an output. So we're using the LED that's built into this because we're not bothering wiring one up. The photoresistor pin as an input. We knew that. Serial begin 9600 for the serial monitor. Let me check somewhere along the lines here. I can check the serial monitor to make sure that's an actual thing. Serial monitor. There we go. Not connected to a board. Oh, I can't do that until I connect it to the board. That's fair enough. I understand that. I'll worry about that later. So serial begin is setting the baud rate for the serial monitor. It's fine. And then the loop. That's all we're going to do. We'll run through this once. We're setting an unsigned integer at the light value, which is what we're reading from the photoresistor pin. Okay, we didn't really need to set it up as a pin. We could have just read that as A0. I think we're doing it just to make sure we know what we're doing. So that is going through as it should. Okay, I understand that. It doesn't have a text display. We know that. So serial print light value : and then serial printing the light value. So we're getting a number from the photoresistor and then we're printing it on the serial monitor. Then we've got, right, a static unsigned. This is to set the light and dark. Right, our static indicates that these local variables should maintain their values between loop runs. So although the loop resets, it doesn't reset these. So the darkest light is equal to the light value, and the brightest light is equal to the light value. This is the highest level and the lowest level that gets returned, the maximum time it goes through the loops. Okay, so if the light value is smaller than the darkest light, then the darkest light is the light value. So if it gets darker, then that's the new darkest one. And if it's brighter, that's the new brightest one. Okay, that gives us our range. Right, now we have an interesting problem. As our voltage region goes up, we want the LED to blink faster. And that's with the smaller the delay. And we need to adjust the blink rate in a noticeable way. So we have one range of numbers, darkest to brightest, from our light sensor. We wish to convert to a different range from max delay to min delay. Okay. A neat function called map, created just for this situation, takes a value from one range and maps it into a desired range. Probably handle the situation when the second range goes down, the first range goes up. You can set it either way. Okay. So we're getting the unsigned integer delay value. What's that doing? That's just highlighting all that for some reason. Okay. Right. So unsigned integer delay value equals map, which is the light value, darkest light, brightest light, max delay, min delay. Okay, that's how that's set up. Then we're printing the delay value, and we're printing the delay value. Okay. Now we blink our LED using our delay value. So digital rate high for the delay value, then low for the delay value. Okay. I don't quite get this digital value bit, the map thing. I'll have to ask Astrid about the map volume, map stuff anyway. But let me get this plugged in, uploaded to the board, and then we'll see what it is we're doing. Okay, here we go. I had problems again. I think it's this red wire. I think I had problems with the red wire before, and I put it back in the box. So I'm going to dispose of this red wire because it wasn't working properly. It wasn't connecting. It was giving me dodgy readings. But now, as you can see in the serial monitor, about there, I'm getting light value 173 and the delay of 425. So that's flashing at that rate, as you can just about make out down there. There you go. Now that should make the light go up because I'm moving closer to the light, and the numbers going down. So if I go back down there, and indeed if I cover it up, that flashing changes rate and the light level goes down to 22. So the delay goes up, so it flashes slower. If I've got a torch, which I have handy, and I put that over it, that makes it flash even faster because the light number goes up to, where are we, 600 and something. So yeah, I understand why that's working, except for the map function. So let me get Astrid online and we'll ask her exactly what's what about that. Hello, Astrid. I'm trying to do day 6 with the photoresistor and I'm having a little bit of trouble.
Cadet, day 6, huh? You're right in the thick of it. Learning to see the light, literally. All right, tell me, what parts got your circuits crossed? Is it the wiring with the photoresistor or reading the light values in your code? Remember, your photoresistor acts like a little alien eye. The more light it sees, the lower the resistance. Less light, resistance shoots up, so you'll wire it up with a pull-down resistor, probably a 10 kilo ohm, so your hero board can sense the change. What kind of readings are you getting? Or is your sensor not responding at all?
I know I've got the wiring sorted out. All that seems to be okay. The problem I'm having is understanding the map function. Can you talk me through that a little bit, please?
Got it, Cadet. The infamous map function. One of those coding tools that feels a little alien until it clicks. No worries, I've got you. So think of the map function like this. Your photoresistor sends raw values, usually somewhere between 0 and 1023. But you don't want to deal with numbers that big when, say, you're controlling an LED's brightness, right? Map helps translate that number into a smaller range you can work with. For example, you'd write something like int brightness equals map sensor value 0, 723, 0, 255. What this means is, hey hero, take whatever number the sensor gives me, which I know will be between 0 and 1023, and squish it into a range of 0 to 255 for my LED. So, what are you trying to do with the mapped value? Control an LED, send a message to the mothership, or maybe something sneakier?
We're making an LED flash at different rates. I've got the code for it, but the map value has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different subsets to it, and I'm trying to figure out what they all are. Can you just describe all of those for me?
Perfect. Now we're getting into the good stuff. You're staring at the map function's full 5-piece alien puzzle, huh? All right, Cadet, here's what each part does, plain and simple. The map function looks like this. Map sensor value from high to low to high. First, sensor value, that's the raw reading from your photoresistor. Basically, how bright it is out there on this dusty planet. Next, from low and from high, this is the range of values your photoresistor spits out, usually 0 to 1023, because that's what analog read gives you. Then, to low and to high, that's where you tell Hero what new range you want the old numbers to squeeze into. Like if you're setting delay times for your LED, maybe from 100 milliseconds to 1000 milliseconds. So imagine you write int delay time equals map sensor value 0, Zen 23, 100,000. That means, hey Hero, if the light is super bright and sensor value is 0, set delay time to 100. But if it's dark and sensor value hits 1023, make delay time 1000. Does that help clear the space fog a bit? What values are you working with for your delays?
No, I think that's pretty much covered what I was having trouble with. I'll get back to you if I need any more help.
All right, Cadet, you're sounding mission ready now. Mapping really is one of those things that unlocks a ton of power once it clicks. And hey, the way you're handling that light sensor, the mothership's going to be impressed. Keep testing that delay and watch your LED pulse like a beacon. Just what we need to guide your way home. I'll be right here if anything else throws you off course. How's the rest?
That'll do. I don't need you anymore. Thank you very much. Right, I've made some tweaks, as you may have noticed in the code there. What I have done is change the min delay to 5 and the max delay to 1,000, so 1 second, to make that more visible. So I think that's going to change it on the fly. So now I can upload that. It's done compiling. That should now be running it. So it's flashing. Right. So if it's dark, it should flash pretty much once a second, much slower. But if it gets bright, it should flash much quicker. Yeah, there you go. Very, very quick. So almost on all the time. The delay of 12. And you should be able to get it to flash at any rate I like. Now it's much more manageable. So a little bit of shadow coming down to a lot of shadow, taking a lot longer. Yeah, because I can adjust the amount of light, judging on how much ambient light hits it by moving my finger away from it, or indeed off of it completely. Yeah, I mean, that's a little bit quick for bright light, but I'll get the idea. So I understand what it's doing now. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. So that's another day done. I'm happy with that. Are you happy with that? Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And other than that, I'll see you tomorrow for more. Bye-bye for now.